You think this is my idea? I'm about to prove you wrong. What up, my creative fellas? Welcome back to another episode. Well, you know, my YouTube channel has been out of reach for a week, so I couldn't post any videos last week, but to make up for that, this week I have something really great for you. This is something you have all been waiting for a very long time, and it's all about finding ideas and my top secret to find ideas for photo manipulations and digital paintings. So I'm not going to waste your time, let's dive right into the video. If you have been following my Instagram, which I recommend you do, you come across a photo I posted like about 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to take you through the process that I went through to find the idea for this piece and put everything together. I know you are going to take a lot out from this, so pay attention to the end of the video. You can break down each digital art, such as manipulations or digital paintings, doesn't really matter, into some very specific steps. And the very first step in creating every art is finding a good idea. If you don't have anything in your mind, you can't just hop on your computer and start scribbling around, hoping for something to come up. I mean, it works, but most of the times you need to have at least a very vague and broad picture of what you're going to do in mind, and then after act upon it. So finding a good idea is really important. I mean, it's just the foundation of getting a good manipulation out. But finding the idea itself, it can be bothersome, and it's a trouble for many people, especially beginners who are just starting out. They don't really know how and where to find ideas. And I get this question a lot in my DMs every single day, if not every hour. Many are struggling to find a good idea. I mean, it's not just about the skills. It's about the creativity itself. If you have great skills, but if you don't have anything in mind that you can implement, then what good are those skills? Besides the fact that every idea you come up with has something to do with your genre and with the style that you have acquired throughout the years of your practice. The basic steps that you need to follow to find a good idea for your work is pretty much the same in every genre. So I'm going to take you through these steps. There are many ways to finding a good idea that you can implement. Throughout all these years, I have created hundreds and hundreds of manipulations, and I find some of the ways of coming up with a creative idea to be more efficient than the others. And the most efficient way of finding an idea is stealing. This whole concept of stealing ideas from other people comes from the book Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. Now, before this book was released, I was actually doing the same thing. I was executing the concept from the book, but I had no idea what I was doing back then. But now, after I have read this book, I know that I am doing the right thing. Because unlike what many people might think, stealing is not a bad thing if you do it the right way. We have bad stealing and we have good stealing. You want to avoid the bad stealing, you want to do the good stealing. You want to be good thieves. We want to steal genuinely. We want to steal consciously, and we want to steal creatively. After you're done watching this video, I highly recommend that you purchase this book or get an Audible version of it online and listen to it. It is just jam-packed with great information for every artist. And now let me read you a paragraph from the book itself. The title says, "Nothing is original." If we're free from the burden of trying to be completely original, we can stop trying to make something out of nothing, and we can embrace influence instead of running away from it. Now, what is originality? Undetected plagiarism. That's cool, huh? And on the next page, the book says, every new idea is just a mashup or a remix of one or more previous ideas. So how do you feel once you realize that nothing in the world is original? 9 out of 10 times when you see something and you think it's original, it's just a copy from a previous idea that yet you have not found the source of. Now let me show you how to actually steal like an artist. I'm gonna show you my thought process behind creating and finding the idea for this photo. So the first image that I saw was this photo over here. I'm going to write down the name of the original artist of each piece right at the bottom so you know who the original artist is. Credit to the artists. But This photo, as soon as I saw it, I knew I wanted to get something out of it. And I really like the dynamic and the whole pose of this character. I was just in love with it. So I thought I could use that in one of my photos. So the thing I did was that I stole the pose. As you can see, my pose in my photo is very similar to the pose of this character. At least, man, I'm just reaching out for something. But this character is just looking at that thing. So I stole that pose. I also like those goggles on her forehead, so I stole the goggles as well. I mean, they are different ones, but the concept is the same. And I also like the perspective and the horizon line of this image. As you can see, it's kind of tilted and sloping to the right side of the photo, so I kind of did the same thing. My horizon line is kind of tilting to the right side. And yeah, that's pretty much it. From this photo, I took the pose and kind of like the perspective that I really liked, and that became one portion of the whole idea for this photo that I did. Now let's move on to the other one. Now the second photo that I took some inspiration from, or I better say I stole something from, is this photo. And the thing I took from it is kind of the color palette of the character itself. I'm in love with the color blue, and when it is just combined with yellow, my mind is blown. It's out of this world. So as soon as I saw those yellow shoes, I thought I have some yellow shoes as well. I really like the top blue of this character, so I applied that color blue to my hoodie and my hair color. So a combination of yellow and blue with the little neutral gray of the pants, it really looked pleasing to my eyes. So I thought I might use that when I'm creating this piece. So yeah, this is what I took from this photo and combined it with what I took from the previous one. Now let's move on to the third photo. This is my third source of inspiration, or theft, as I better say. And you already can guess what I took from this image. I really like those flashy, greenish kind of, I don't know, what are they? Maybe they are smoke or something, just pushing out of the shoes. I used that in my own photo, but in some other way, but the whole concept is the same. I saw those coming out of the shoes, they are just making this character fly away, so I thought I might use that in my own photo as well. So this is what I have taken away from this photo and added to my own composition. Let's move on to my next inspiration. Now I do not watch Star Wars that much, but I really like this scene. Two suns over here, and as soon as I thought of creating a scene in space, I thought I should have two suns together. And if you take a look at my photo, you can see there are two suns. Now the inspiration from this is actually the scene from Star Wars. What I took from this fourth photo was actually the color scheme. I really like that color scheme. It's kind of very out of this world kind of colors. I think it's Mars. I don't know what movie this is, but I think this should be Planet Mars. And since I was creating something in space, I thought I might use some of these colors. So as you can see, I have those very warm, orangey, brown, yellowish kind of tones in the background to complement my own colors, which is like very cold and bluish in the foreground. So I used the color scheme of this, and I took it from the cinematic palettes or cinema palettes, I don't know. It's a website, you could just Google it, and it has very awesome color palettes from various movies that you can use in your arts. Highly recommended. And then we get to this image. It's a very nice illustration, and I really like this artist's works, and I really admire it. And as soon as I saw this piece, I thought I should have these planets orbiting around me in my own photo manipulation, so I did the same. I took this and applied that to my own photo. And if you also take a look at the hoodie, you might notice that there are actually stars, planets, and nebulas planted onto the hoodie. And if you take a look at my own hoodie, there's actually a very similar feeling. I took some nebulas and some space photos and put them on my own hoodie using some blend modes and blended it in. And these planets and the hoodie are actually stolen away from this piece, from this artist. And yeah, that's pretty much how you can steal from different artists to create an original piece of your own. I don't know if there were many more sources that I used to pull up this image, but these 6 photos are all I can remember at the moment. Maybe there were more, but I can't remember right now. So I want you to rethink your strategy. Next time you thought, I'm running out of ideas, I want you to look at some other people's works, and who knows, you might be able to steal something from them.